Here's the thing: Liverpool fans, for some reason, all of us, you know, I'm not pointing anyone out, have talked ourselves up like we're in bad form because of something that happened 2 months ago, because of January and stuff. Now, I pulled up the form table here. We're fifth in the form table. We've got 14 points from the last 18. You know, it's 4 wins and 2 draws and no losses in the last 6 games. From our rivals, Chelsea and Tottenham.
Or just in general?
Tottenham, Leicester, Chelsea, Palace.
Well, there you go.
Man United are below us. Manchester City have pulled 9 points out of 18.
Yeah.
You know, Arsenal, 7 points out of 18.
Yeah.
You know, Manchester United, 12. They're 2 points lower than us. We've talked ourselves into bad form. Yeah. We're not in bad form. Yeah. If we'd have, you know, if we could stay around between that 3rd to 5th all season long, you're getting top 4. Yeah. Now we're in the business end of the season and we're outperforming the ones who really matter to us. Yeah. That's the thing that matters.
Exactly.
And I don't get why we're talking ourselves into bad form.
Yeah. That's the thing, though, isn't it? What it boils down to is we're still in that position where the teams need to go out and perform. And as we've said, it's not. I don't think that we've taught ourselves into bad form. It's just that it's there. The evidence is there that we struggle against a certain brand of football. We struggle against certain types of teams, and if teams don't want to come and have a game against us, we make harder work of it than we should. And that was the problem with that game, was when you've got no Mane and you've got no Lallana and you've got no Henderson and you're thinking maybe no Coutinho, and then you turn up to that game and not only is it no Coutinho, it's no Firmino. You're like, oh, what the fuck? And then you build up. We were go, well, look, this time last year we were playing Ojo and Origi, or Ojo and Sturridge, or Benteke. You know, we were playing a lot of kids in these games, and we were doing okay. So it didn't feel like it was the end of the world, but we looked disjointed, we looked bang average, we looked totally out of our depth in that first half. And what was great about it was the second we brought Coutinho and Firmino on, and then it got even better when Sturridge came on, to be fair. Yeah. We looked like a team that should be playing top 4. We looked like a team that was playing Champions League, and all the fears, we washed away all the fears, which is the most important thing.
In 3 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
Brilliant.
Crazy.
It's that's sort of, I'm doing the stat show later on this afternoon with John, and what we've looked into, me, Tom and John, is this idea of how Jurgen Klopp's performed over midweek games, and the knock-on effects of not just the midweek game, but we're also looking at the Saturday game or the Sunday game afterwards. And I think, you know, we played a big game in Everton, we played Bournemouth and we got a draw. Now we got 7 points out of 9 over those 3 games, and we're looking this week at how Jurgen Klopp's done historically for Liverpool since he took over, and also his Dortmund sides from 11-12 and 12-13, and we're starting to look at the signings he made between 11-12 and 12-13 to give us an idea of what signings and how many signings we could be looking for this summer to take us from a side that can compete on one front to can compete on more fronts. So tune in if you do or you don't subscribe to redmentv.com, please do tune in for this show because it's going to be epic. Like.
Yeah, no, it sounds really interesting. So yeah, I'm glad Stoke's out the way, but I do get the feeling that because obviously West Brom coming up at the weekend, not the same type of game as such, but obviously, you know, we're coming up against a Tony Pulis side, having just beaten, you know, what was once a Tony Pulis side that still has that. It still has a number of his, you know, it still has his stamp, I think, to some extent on that side, and it's going to be very interesting because I do feel as though, and we've said this, you know, I think everyone gets this. Is not a new thought per se, but we're looking at these run of fixtures, and if we were the finished article, I'd be rubbing my hands with glee over all these and going, go on boys, you know, let loose, go and steamroller them. But a combination of that, the lack of Mane in particular, I think, and then also, as I say, this fact that we've not been great against these type of teams, inverted commas, I suspect that West Brom will follow a similar path. If we win it, we're not going to win it 4-0. We're going to win it. It's going to be another 2-1, 3-1.
Okay, here's something we touched on briefly on the final word show, actually, is that West Brom aren't going to let us off the hook in the way that Stoke did. And what I mean by that is Stoke could have, you know, taking John Walters off and not bringing Peter Crouch on was a big mistake for me. You know, they should have been lumping balls into the box and putting our defenders under pressure. And one of the things that I think it was Steve maybe it was Ozzy mentioned, was that they thought that we went to 3 at the back because of the aerial threat, because you get Matip in there as well, and you sort of try and go, all right, okay, you play 3 at the back against Burnley, Stoke, so we know that we can maybe match up with you there, but we also throw 3 big defenders on to counteract that Stoke thing. So I wonder whether if we're still persisting with injuries, are we going to do something similar? Because West Brom are going to come at us like that. It's going to be the long throws, it's going to be long balls, direct balls into the box. The problem is, I just don't think we're suited to 3 at the back. I just don't think these players have played it enough, and Jurgen Klopp's admitted he's not trained it enough. Either way, for me, you've got to get Lovren and you've got to get Matip back in there, because they can deal with an aerial threat.
What I think it maybe does is what we talked about last week was about maximising what you do at the other end of the pitch. And I think that what we did in that first half was we knew we couldn't get 90 out of Phil and Firmino, so we had to try. I thought the game plan was probably to be tight, and maybe, you know, if you go in 1-0 up on a counter attack, which we could have done. We could have had a penalty for Woodburn. It could have been a different game. I think we played to keep it level in the first half and then unleash what we had in the second. But you look at what we did in the second, and my viewing on it, I've not seen the stats or the position or anything to back it up, but I felt we were able to play Coutinho and Firmino a bit more narrow.
You're spot on. We played that 3 at the back exactly like Chelsea. You essentially play a square of midfielders, so be it Gini Wijnaldum, Emre Can, and Coutinho and Firmino right up above them, almost the same width apart. And you're right, what we managed to do is get Coutinho and Firmino interacting, because whenever we've not had Mane, that right winger and that left winger don't interact, they don't play together. Firmino and Coutinho are best when they play together. You're spot on, they played much closer together, and then they were able to use Daniel Sturridge when he came on to much more effect. And there was a willingness from Firmino to get over the top when Sturridge dropped deep, and Coutinho exactly the same, and we played so much better for just a small shift in formation. Makes a massive difference to us. I think personally we'll be doing something similar to that. Could be 4-3-3, but with really narrow and play centrally, because that's what we're good at. That's what we've been good at all season. All our goals that are good come from little interplay down the centre and breaking teams down like that, and if we do that against West Bromwich Albion, we make them play our game and we don't play theirs, we'll smash them.